I'm Roger Gould, the creative director of our theme parks group at Pixar Animation Studios, collaborating with Imagineering wherever our stories show up at the parks around the world.
I'm Kathy Mangum. I'm a former retired Imagineer, and I was the executive producer of Cars Land. Even though Radiator Springs is really without a state, it's non-specified, so much of the architecture, the landscaping, the rock work can be seen in California, and it was really just a perfect fit.
One of the most amazing parts of this whole experience was going on a field trip, a research trip on Route 66.
We went, for about 8-9 days with Michael Wallace, who wrote the book on Route 66, The Mother Road. He took the film team, Pixar film team, several years before that. So we walked in their footsteps too. And we saw characters, we saw, wonderful little cafes, curio shops. So all of the murals, the graphics, the people, the food, the landscaping, the planting, it really helped us layer story into this land.
The world of Cars is a little bit of an oversized world because a door is the size of a garage door, right? Because cars are big. And so everything in the movie is a bit overscale. And that was one of the first decisions we came to with your team, was figuring out, okay, how do we scale these buildings down a little bit from what in the movie is a real world scale? There was just a coziness, a comfort for people to feel like they belonged in those buildings. When you're designing an attraction, you have to really boil it down to the essence of it. What is the emotional story you're trying to tell? What are those beats? And where do you want the guest to really be focused at every moment? And that's really, I think, Radiator Springs Racers, I think we're all so proud of it because it really is that synthesis of just great Imagineering storytelling and capturing the essence and emotion of the movie.
The scope of this project, 12 acres, we're adding 12 acres to really valuable property. You look at Anaheim and how much property is left to be built on. We had to use this very judiciously. It was based on one story, but we got to really get into characters' heads and continue that story. And then of course there were 2 other movies and a whole bunch of shorts that helped us do that too. We really had something there.
We were literally standing in the land under construction, and the sun was going down, and there was just a feeling, well, that's that moment in the movie, that shaboom moment. Could we make that? Could we choreograph our signage? It's not something we'd ever talked about, but it was amazing to pull it off.
We already knew that the holidays needed to be a special time in Cars Land. And happily, there was a really charming Disney publishing book that Pixar had worked with the team on called Mater Saves Christmas. And it gave us a sense of how do the citizens of Radiator Springs decorate their town for the holidays. And so we actually designed the holidays from the get-go so that even that first season, the town celebrated.
What I love about the holidays, some of the decor for the holidays and the decors in the land, is a lot of times it is that secondary read. The first thing you see is a snowflake, but then you start to take it apart and you realize it's a bunch of wrenches. So it's got that secondary Cars read, and I think it's so clever.
I can't end up talking about the building of Cars Land without talking about just the joy of the collaboration between everyone at Pixar Animation Studios and Walt Disney Imagineering. It was, there is no greater compliment for a filmmaker or a studio than Imagineering calling and say, we want to create something in the parks based on it. And in this case, it wasn't just a little thing. It was this entire land, and everyone who worked on the film put so much passion into that. We're so honored by the passion and commitment that the Imagineers put into bringing this world to life.